Precisely 6:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. News edited by J. Ogaraj and read by Sharifa Tahir. Headlines. The President emphasizes the importance of effective implementation of directives related to the country's development. 11 Sri Lankans who were trapped in Gaza returned to the island. Fertilizer subsidy to be credited to farmers' accounts from tomorrow. Rains see lakes overflowing in Anuradhapura. Trade Minister assures effective measures will be taken to reduce the prices of essential commodities during the festive season. UDA to hand over Vihara Mahadevi Park back to CMC. Colombo-Badula main road blocked due to earth slip. News overseas. Demonstrators in Tokyo demand immediate ceasefire in Israel-Hamas conflict. In sports, Jadeja raises South Africa for 83 after Kohli scores 49th ODI ton. Local news in detail. President Ranil Wickremesinghe emphasized the importance of effective implementation of directives related to the country's development. During the Nuwara Special District Coordination Committee meeting held at the Nuwara District Secretariat on the 4th, he underscored that government officials must promptly execute decisions made during District Development Committee meetings and stated his commitment to preventing any programs that could hinder the country's progress. He warned that action would be taken against heads of government institutions who failed to properly implement instructions regarding the country's development activities. The meeting was attended by both political authorities of the district and government officials. The discussions covered the development programs implemented in the Nuwara district along with future development plans. Progress at implementing decisions from previous discussions shared by the President on December 22, 2022 and April 10, 2023 was also reviewed. The Ministry of Sports has appointed an interim Sri Lanka Cricket Committee. The interim committee is appointed with a view of appointing a new committee in near future. The Minister of Sports made this appointment under the powers vested based on Act No. 25 of 1973. The committee is headed by former Sri Lanka captain Arjuna Ranatunga. In the meantime, Agrarian Development Department Commissioner General AHM Abhiratna said 1,000 rupees million received by the Agriculture Ministry as the first installment for the fertilizer subsidy to farmers in the upcoming season will be credited to the farmers' accounts from tomorrow. President Ranil Wickremesinghe, as the Minister of Finance, had provided this to the Ministry of Agriculture on February 2nd, and in the Maha season, 800,000 hectares of paddy will be cultivated. Around 1.2 million farmers will be provided 15,000 rupees per hectare. The Commissioner General also said that farmers will be able to buy organic fertilizers or chemical fertilizers according to their choice from the public sector or the private sector, with this money given to the farmers who have cultivated paddy fields. The total amount expected to be spent by the government for providing these fertilizer subsidies is 12,000 million rupees. Accordingly, it has been planned to credit farmers' accounts with 15,000 rupees per hectare and 30,000 rupees per 2 hectares. Fertilizers supplied by the government sector have already been sent to all agrarian service centers. Many small, medium and large-scale lakes in Anuradhapura district are currently overflowing due to the prevailing heavy rains. Katiyava Lake, a large-scale lake in the Eppavala district, is currently being drained, due to which the traffic on the Eppavala-Katiyava road has also been disrupted. Meanwhile, a large number of people could be seen gathering to catch fish in the Katiyava Lake, which has been drained. Meanwhile, small-scale lakes such as Eppavala Lake and the Madiyava Lake are currently overflowing. The irrigation engineer said that the Rajangana Reservoir has not yet reached the overflow level, and if it rains like this, the floodgates of the Rajangana Reservoir will also have to be opened. Meanwhile, due to the rainy weather, a large amount of cultivated land has been flooded. According to the Meteorology Department, scattered rains and thunder showers may occur in many parts of the country after 2 p.m. today. Fairly heavy showers above 75 millimeters are likely at some places in the western, central, Sabaragamu, northwestern and north central provinces. Showers may occur in northern and eastern provinces during the morning too. According to the announcement issued by by the Department of Meteorology, foggy conditions may prevail in some places in the western, Sabargamu, central and NOV provinces in the morning. The Colombo-Badula main road has been blocked in the Batgoda area due to an earth slip, the Disaster Management Centre announced. The earth slip has reportedly occurred in the Batgoda area between Haldamulla and Beragala last evening as a result of heavy rainfall experienced in the area since morning, according to the DMC. Several houses are also reported to have been damaged as a result of this. It's reported. Urban Development and Housing Minister Prasanna Ranatunga has instructed the Urban Development Authority to hand over the Vihara Mahadevi Park to Colombo Municipal Council. The Urban Development Authority has the ability to take away any property for development purposes. That is according to Section 50 of the Urban Development Authority Act. Minister Ranatunga says that the properties that have been taken over and developed should be returned to the institutions that belong to them. In the world, the main point of the urban public parks built in the cities is the emergence of public parks in a free open environment that is not covered by walls, barriers and gates. The iron fences throughout the Vihara Mahadevi Park area have been removed and an environment without boundaries has been created. Accordingly, during the renovation of the Vihara Mahadevi Garden under the Colombo Development Programme, the iron fence around the garden was removed and replaced by new plants such as mee, palu and ebony, and the renovation was carried out according to a new plan. Special street lamps have been used for decoration here. A path has been built where children can ride bicycles for fun and for physical health. In the new park, you will also find fitness trails and anyone can benefit from. Former President Gotabaya Rajapaksa worked to modernize this park to suit the modern world. Accordingly, the Vihara Mahadevi Park was under the control of Colombo Municipal Council. Until then, was taken over by the Government Urban Development Authority for renovation in 2011. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation giving you the news. Continuing with more stories here at home. In response to the recent surge in prices of essential commodities, the All Ceylon Restaurant and Restaurant Owners Association has decided to raise the prices of certain food items effective from today. Harshana Rukshan, president of the All Ceylon Restaurant and Restaurant Owners Association, stated that the rise in the cost of sugar has necessitated an increase of 5 rupees in the price of tea, while milk tea will see a price hike of 10 rupees. Besides, the prices of rice, vegetables, chicken, meat and onions have experienced a noticeable increase, prompting a 20 rupee rise in the price of a packet of rice. Similarly, the prices of kottu and fried rice will also be increased by 20 rupees, he said. Meanwhile, Trade Minister Nalim Fernando said effective measures will be taken to reduce the prices of essential commodities during the festive season. The main objective is to ease the burden of the consumers and the general public, the minister added. 11 Sri Lankans who crossed to Egypt from the Gaza Strip have arrived in the island early last morning on board a flight from Doha in Qatar. The group is from 2 families, which includes 2 adults and 9 children, according to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Issuing a statement, the Foreign Affairs Ministry stated that the Consular Affairs Division of the Ministry coordinated the arrangements for their return in collaboration with Sri Lanka missions in Cairo, Ramallah and Tel Aviv. Foreign Ministry officials received the returning Sri Lankan nationals this morning upon their arrival at Bandaranaike International Airport this morning. The entry of the 11 Sri Lankans from Gaza Strip into Egypt via Rafah border crossing was facilitated by the Sri Lankan Embassy in Cairo in coordination with the Egyptian authorities on November 2, 2023, the statement added. The embassy official visited the Rafah border to receive the stranded Sri Lankans. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs facilitated the arrangements of logistics and air transportation of the returnees with the assistance of the International Organization of Migration, according to the ministry. That's local news for the moment.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Veda Mahatma.
The Welfare Benefits Board member Kamal Padmasiri says that the Aswasuma Special Week will commence today, focusing on regularizing the benefit program and addressing existing issues. He added that applications for the second round of Aswasuma will begin in January. The first round of payments will be completed by December. Kamal Padmasiri has also announced that Aswasuma beneficiaries will receive their September payment by 15th of November and October payments will be made at the end of November.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Vedamahatmya.
Moving on to watch live, the number of dengue cases in several areas of the Western Province and in the Kandy district of the Central Province has increased. The National Dengue Control Unit says most of the breeding grounds for mosquitoes have been identified around schools and religious places in many areas. Director of the National Dengue Control Unit, Dr. Nalin Aryaratna, said 66,652 dengue cases have been reported in Sri Lanka so far this year. That's on Watch Live. Moving on to world news headlines. Singapore to change prime ministers for first time in 20 years. Blinken meets Abbas in West Bank, vows humanitarian aid for people in Gaza. Demonstrators in Tokyo demand immediate ceasefire in Israel-Hamas conflict. World news in detail. Singapore Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong says he will hand over his post to Deputy Prime Minister Lawrence Wong by autumn of next year. It will be the first change in Prime Minister in 20 years for the Southeast Asian country. Lee said at an annual conference of the People's Action Party on Sunday that he intends to hand over the DPM Lawrence before next general election. The party has dominated the country's politics in de facto one-party rule since independence. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has met Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas in the West Bank, pledging humanitarian aid for people in the Gaza Strip. The U.S. State Department released a statement after the two officials held talks in the city of Ramallah on Sunday. The statement says Secretary Blinken reaffirmed the U.S. commitment to the delivery of life-saving humanitarian assistance and resumption of essential services in Gaza. Finally, on world news, people have taken to the streets of central Tokyo to demand an immediate ceasefire in the conflict between Israel and the Palestinian Islamic group Hamas. Civic group organizers of the demonstration say about 1,600 people marched from Hibiya Park to Tokyo Station for some 40 minutes on Sunday. The protesters held up placards and banners calling for Israel to halt in attacks to realize an immediate ceasefire and peace for Palestinians. That's on World News.
Development News.
The Automobile Industry Council has unveiled recently in Colombo with the participation of Industries and Health Minister Dr. Ramesh Patiruni, Minister of Education Susir Premajanta and officials of the AIC. This visionary entity, born as a government-backed and privately led initiative, is resolutely dedicated to guiding the automobile industry into a new era of innovation, skill enhancement and global eminence. Its paramount mission is to revolutionize the industry's landscape, shifting it from a consumer-centric model into a globally interconnected manufacturing powerhouse. The Automobile Industry Council steadfastly sets its sights on a compelling vision for the future.
Moving on with sports news.
In cricket, Virat Kohli gifted himself a record-equaling 49th ODI century in India, their 8th successive victory in this World Cup on his 35th birthday. When Kohli drew level with Sachin Tendulkar with a punched single in the penultimate over of India's innings, a crowd of 60,000 at Eden Gardens celebrated with Kohli and made it a memorable birthday bash. Kohli, who walked out to bat in the 6th over after Rohit Sharma had won the toss and challenged India to batted till the end of the innings, lifting India to an above par 326 for 5. He ended outscoring South Africa, who could manage just 83 in 27.1 overs. Ravindra Jadeja bagged career-best figures of 5 for 33 to wreck South Africa's chase and consign them to their joint second lowest total in ODI cricket. In scores, India batting first with 326 for 5 and 50 overs. Virat Kohli was unbeaten on 101. In reply, South Africa were bowled out for mere 83. India won by 243 runs. With this win, India remains unbeaten in the Cricket World Cup 2023 tournament.
Go ekatiyana youth ekata life eke change ekata niyameta setna aswagena dekuina habe karana youth ekata niyameta setna friendship ekamenna.
The all-new NSB Itru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dreams.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Galoya Plantations Private Limited will invest in constructing a bio-unit to produce more effective biofertilizers and reduce the use of chemical fertilizers, said Executive Director of the Galoya Plantation Company, Danesh Aberatna. The company presently boasts one of the largest organic fertilizer yards in Sri Lanka, capable of producing over 7,000 MT per year. The new project includes expanding the existing compost yard, establishing a pulverizing unit and a soil lab. The goal is to introduce new fertilizer products to the country and encourage farmers to cultivate with biofertilizers.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekakiyana youth ekata life eke change ekata niyameta set wenna as wahagena dekapu hina habe karanna youth ekata niyameta set wenna friendship eka menna.
The all-new NSB Itru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
And on economic news, Adani Green Energy Limited, one of South Asia's largest and fastest growing pure-play renewable energy companies, and with investment pledges to Sri Lanka in solar and maritime sectors, recently announced their financial results for the quarter and half-year ending on September 30th, 2023, displaying an increase of revenue by a substantial 66% year-on-year to reach 4,029 crores. That's on economic news.
Weather report.
The Met Department says prevailing showery weather condition is expected to enhance today. Showers or thunder showers will occur over most parts of the island after 1 p.m. Heavy showers about 100 millimeters are likely at some places in Sabaragamu, Central Luva, North Central provinces and in Puttalam districts. Fairly heavy showers about 50 millimeters are likely at some places elsewhere. Showers will occur in Eastern Province and in Jaffna and Mullaitivu districts during the morning too. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in Sabaragamu, Central and Nuva provinces during the morning. The general public is kindly requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damages caused by temporary localized strong winds and lightning during thunder showers. This weather report was published this morning at 4:30 a.m. Further details could be obtained by visiting the official website of the department. That's the weather update, and with that we conclude this bulletin of news. 2 minutes past 7.
Radio wherever you are. Radio Sri Lanka.